And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the 125th episode of Pillar Talk. My name is Dev, and I have the pleasure of welcoming Miss Kimberly Ruiz.
Good afternoon. Woo-woo!
Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to hop on and talk a little bit about what makes you one of the pillars of this community. So we're going to jump right into it with a fast five. Kim, where's your favorite place to get ice cream in Monroe County?
Ooh, well, I would have to say it's out at the beach area. It's Time Ice Cream, the
Ice cream time?
Ice Cream Time
Okay.
by Kroger, because I grew up in the beaches, and so I like to support them.
I was going to say, let's talk about that a little bit too. We know
Okay.
you're from the Jefferson area, but right after our fast five, where's your favorite place to recommend a friend to go for lunch in Monroe?
Ooh, Amaya's.
Amaya's. And what do you get from Amaya's?
Well, my favorite is the tequila lime mini shrimp pizza with a side of rice.
Fair. We know that you've been recently employed over at Monroe Nutrition. What's your favorite shake right now?
Ooh, strawberry cheesecake.
Okay. Always made with love?
Always made with love.
Right on. And what would you recommend someone that's never been to Monroe? Where would you recommend them either to shop or hang out or just an activity to do?
Definitely check out downtown. Check out our local entrepreneurships. Check out our river. Check out St. Mary's. Just explore. Keep your eyes open and see what's there. Take a walk, stroll. Enjoy the peace that it brings.
There is, especially with the nature and kind of just taking a step back and seeing all the great things that our great town has to offer.
But I will tell you my favorite place to go, that if you want some alone time and you just want to hear whatever it is that you need to hear, is the state park. For sure.
just renewed my tags and got the state park pass, so I definitely have to put it to use.
Yes.
So let's talk about growing up in the beaches. What was it like? What were some of the cool spots to go to? Because that kind of formed you. I mean, high school forms a lot of us to be what we're going to be for the rest of our lives. What made it for you over at Jefferson?
I think the closeness of everybody is small knit. It was easy to walk to my grandma's house. It was easy to walk to my friend's house, walk down the street, at the end of the block to catch the bus. I think everybody that I went to school with from elementary on up, I pretty much remained friends with, just the closeness of it.
Do you remember your graduating class? How many were there?
I think there was 187.
Okay. So it's still larger.
Yeah.
I think my graduating class was 99. So.
Oh.
But.
From Monroe? Oh. From
SMC,
Central. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So I had to make a little switch over there.
Yeah.
So let's talk about after high school. What'd you do?
After high school, I entered into Monroe County Community College.
Go Huskies.
And then I transferred out to Eastern.
Okay. And what did you major in?
I was going to go into teaching.
Oh, I think that even in all your careers, I think that's what you are, but I'll let you continue.
And then I got pregnant with my oldest daughter.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit. How many kids do you have?
I have 3.
And what are their names?
Karina, Justice, and Jason, but we call him JJ.
And you also have some grandbabies.
I do. I have 4. I have 3 girls and a boy. So I have Ava, Lorelai, Liana, and Levi.
And you'll see Miss Ava in the shop with you.
Loves it.
Hands-on. It's so super, super cool to see that. So after college, you graduated, and what happened?
Well, I'll have to backtrack you for a minute because I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't graduate from college because I was in college when I got pregnant with my oldest daughter. So I became a mom and and I worked and we can't ever determine what our steps are going to be. So I don't know. It's been a little bit of struggle. It's always been a goal to finish, but it seems like every time I start to go back to finish my college degree, I haven't finished it yet. And sometimes that can be a prideful thing for me to say, but it is who I am and I can't take away from my identity. So.
And the way I look at it, your story is not done yet. So
no.
If you want to go back, there's new chapters, whatever you want to do, the pages still need to be wrote.
Absolutely.
So that's one way I look at it. What was one of your first jobs that really launched you into this career? Because I feel you're such a community-driven and impactful person. What was the job that said, you know what? I'm really good at this.
That's part of my testimony, Devin. It was walking into Monroe County Opportunity Program, actually, in 2002. I was waitressing. I was back at my mom's. and I wanted to move out. And with waitressing, and it's just survival money, or just kind of like,
Oh yeah.
and I could never save enough money to completely move out, because especially now, what you need. And so
Especially
I
now.
went there to get help. Okay. I think a lot of people misinterpret when people need assistance with something, that they don't work, or they don't. I've worked since I've been 12 years old. So I walked in there to get assistance to, move out with first month's rent, security deposit. And I end up being offered to apply for a position, which is the receptionist in the housing department. And then that was in February 2002. And then by the time April came, I was doing homeless assistant applications. And then I just got cross trained with everything. And that's really where I got the sense of me back. And I realized that I wasn't just my children's mom. I was Kim.
Right.
And, Kim needed to find out who she was again. And I was asked to go speak at city council about rental assistance that they wanted to take away. That helped me.
Mhm.
So the director asked me, hey, can you go talk to city council? And that really gave me my voice, which is why I continue to try to give individuals their voice today. So I've been doing this work for 20 years. And
I think that that's impactful, because obviously they could have just sent an email and said, hey, there are so many families that are impacted by X funds, but to really
right.
see someone, especially someone who's obviously in our community, it's gonna hit a little different. So I
Yeah.
think that takes courage. I've spoken in front of council, and it's trembling.
Yeah.
It really is, when you have 6 or 7, 8 eyes looking right back at you, and sometimes when you're there, you're in a vulnerable state. You're either
Right.
you're asking for something or trying to tell them about a problem that's happening. So I definitely commend you on that.
Thank you.
So many years were you at MCOP?
So I worked at MCOP I was there for about 5 years, and I left.
Okay.
Due to some circumstances that were going on. And then I was asked, to come back and apply for a position in supportive housing. And I went back. And then 8 years ago, I made the decision to leave to go to Oaks to help in a more capacity of rooted issues,
Mhm.
and take what I have been equipped with and apply them to other individuals.
And I think that's what true leadership does. You take what you've learned, and now when it's time to, there's a time for everything. That's my favorite Bible verse.
Yes.
It was time to go on
Yeah.
over and help others. Let's talk about that role, because I feel as if, yes, you are your title is a
Caseworker.
caseworker,
Mhm.
case manager, but I feel like you're more of a friend, a teacher. Going back to a teacher of, I watched a snippet of the last video you put out on the Oaks page. Yes, you get the intake, but you have to figure out, where are these people coming from?
Right.
What do they really need? Because sometimes you don't even have this. Okay, I'm not worried about it. Go find this.
Right.
No, they need steps, and they need someone to sometimes go hand by hand. But if someone wants to learn and know the steps, I feel like you've always been that open door to, we know some resources. Let's figure this out. Let's get you off
Yes.
your current situation.
Yeah, it's navigating the system isn't easy for anybody. If if someone that didn't grow up with having to, navigate through the system, and something happened that was out of their control, and they needed to go apply for assistance, or, try to see where those resources are, they may not know. And so sometimes if someone doesn't want to ask, they're not used to that, it could prevent them for their whole future. And it's really just helping them navigate that system of taking a step, because things in life can be overwhelming. And so, to throw something at someone like, okay, go do this, 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 and this. Sometimes it's just like, okay, let's do this. And then once this is done, then we take care of this, because certain things can't take place.
Right, unless you have certain
Things,
documents,
yes.
certain identifications, certain records. You can't search for this assistance without this. So I think what's really cool is someone who came in needing a certain type of services, and you have a firsthand
Yes.
experience from, I even say, and I'm not a licensed therapist, but I would never want to go to someone and talk about something that they haven't went through.
Right.
It means more and you can confide in someone. You
Yes.
say, listen, I've been there.
Yes.
Okay. I've
Yes.
been there. And that goes back to our testimonies on a larger scale, but even from a business aspect of saying, hey, I'm not just someone off the street. Like,
Right.
I truly use these services.
Exactly.
I
Yep.
think that's where your light shines a little brighter to say, hey, you can do it too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, let's talk about, you've been on this fitness journey for a while too. I mean, because obviously it's mind, body, and soul, and you've been
Yes.
taking care of your
Yes.
body. Talk about the journey and what you've done and who you've been doing it with. And
Okay.
tell a bit about that.
Okay. So I've always been up and down, up and down, up and down. And COVID hit, and I didn't really realize how much it affected me because I didn't think I was being affected. I was just getting up and going to work, but I was coming home. No one could do anything. I probably watched more movies than I ever have in my whole life during COVID. And in January of 2001, Pastor Boone always calls a fast at the beginning of the year for New Year's, depending on what the year is. And it was 21 days.
Okay.
And so we usually do the Daniel fast, which consists of, just vegetables and, plant-based stuff or whatever. And I chose not to pick up meat after that, during 2021. So
Okay.
for a year and a half, I have not been eating meat. But in November, at the end of November of 2021, I said, I can't do this. I'm exhausted. My mind's exhausted. I felt bloggy. I felt I need to do something. I reached out to someone, said that they could coach me, but my very first plan that was sent to me was a little iffy. I'm like, I can't be putting this in my body. Like, what is this? So I didn't do that. And then actually who gave me some good pointers was D Mills, he's like, do this with your breakfast and this. And I started going into Monroe Nutrition already. I didn't want to depend on protein shakes at that time, like I wanted my mind to be good. I wanted my mind to know that I could do this and it was going to change a lifestyle, that I wasn't just going on a diet.
I like that.
And so for 6 months, and I didn't really say much to anyone, not anyone I worked with. I wasn't really posting about it until after started doing exercise classes a little bit more with some other people. And I started showing some results and me being in boxing class and all that other stuff.
And you're a little tour, and I see more people joining it and
Yeah.
getting on it. It's just that's the contagiousness of it. I'm just saying, because if you want to start at the beginning and taking photo, okay, here goes another
Yeah.
time. But no, this is truly a lifestyle
Yes.
switch. I think you can just see in your personality. You've always been an outgoing person, but when you look good, you feel good.
Yeah.
And that's obviously taking care of your body.
Yep. And so I've always been an encourager. And I've always encouraged people that they can do things. And I never in a million years thought that I would be in the spot that I'm helping people with their physical aspect of resources, because I've walked it. And now, I feel like I'm being used with that. So it's not just spiritual. Like I've done some spiritual things,
Right.
or, case managing and just encouraging in that aspect. This is, now I'm like, oh, you want to lose weight? Oh, like, let's get you pumped up. So now I think really Monroe Nutrition, Jeff, we all know, is an amazing individual and has just so much love to share. Going in there continuously during my journey, getting my T-bombs and just communicating, period. I used to have my membership with Herbalife back in 2014, but I had let it go. And so he's encouraged me like, Kim, you need to sign back on. I'm like, I know. So just going in there and it would start my day out amazing.
You walk through the door.
Yeah.
Before you get anything, you just feel it.
Yeah.
And I don't know what better way to put it from someone who does live this, energetic lifestyle. You walk in there, good vibes all around. And at first, I'm like, oh, that's great marketing. Shakes tea, good vibes. No.
Yeah.
You walk in, you're going to leave a little better and you're going to leave happier knowing I'm putting something that's good for my body into it and I'm having a blast doing it. So I love that you're there. And I texted Jeff and said kudos, because leaving your business with anyone is tough. I know as a business owner, but you as a person of contact to walk in and see the smiling keep those good vibes rolling.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm saying. And I think you're happy there. I'm not going to
Yeah.
talk for you, but
Yes,
you seem very
absolutely.
happy.
I think what's important in life, Devin, is finding balance. Because if I just did what I do at the shelter and I love it and I know that I'm supposed to do what I do, and but if I just did that, I think it would drain me completely and I would be exhausted and I wouldn't take care of me. So I go back to you saying that about the mind, body, and the soul, because that's how I'm taking care of me. And I want my grandchildren to be able to see that. And it excites me that Ava comes in there with me because she is very alert about taking care of herself properly. And she's 8 years old.
And I think that goes along with the pillar talk, because it's for the next generation.
Yes,
You know,
absolutely.
even as different generations here, seeing like one day I want to have grandchildren. What
Yeah.
lessons are we gonna leave for them? Like everyone's like, slow down, you need to have kids first, but you got to think in the future too of what are my kids gonna do for my grandchildren?
Right.
The same way Pop was my biggest influence. You know,
Yes.
who am I gonna be a Pop to? And am I
Right.
making sure that I'm doing what I need to right now
Yes.
with my mind, body, and soul to be around for them for the
Absolutely.
long gate?
Yep.
Because it's probably great dancing around and like just thinking about there's a lot of people that aren't as active as you are that have grandchildren that can't really do those type of
Right.
things, or setting a proper lifestyle of how to how
Yeah.
they should live.
Absolutely.
Let's talk a little bit about what the future holds. Where do you want to see yourself? We'll just go in the next 6 months. Where do you want to see yourself? What do you want to be doing in the next 6 months that's going to slingshot you for the next 6 years?
Well, I am working towards being in the nutrition shop of actually having my own club.
Okay.
And that goes back to my grandchildren again, because I want to leave something for them.
There you go.
Yeah. And I wouldn't have had that vision had it not been for, Jeff, like really just saying, hey, come on. And I went to Extravaganza in July. And so I'm like, gosh, I never would have thought about it. Again, it goes also back to the whole physical piece of stuff, but generational. What are we leaving them? I've always lived off of survival in the past. And I never had the vision of being able to be equipped to create something more that I can leave them for their own generational wealth,
And yeah, that's exactly it. And I think I want to say more and more people are starting to think that. Especially we'll go, after COVID, the lifestyle
Yeah.
of, well, what do we have that's gonna be sustainable after I'm gone?
Yeah.
I think that's a big thing that, like I said, more and more people are starting to wake up to. Let's talk a little bit about the co-op.
Okay.
I think that's something people still don't even really know about.
Right.
We've just kind of moved in a silent way and just done a few things around
Yeah.
the community. What about the group we have?
Man.
I mean, the amount of talented people that are in this small, I'm not going to say secluded group, but a group that comes together just to meet and say, how can we help each other?
Right.
I mean, I'm teaming up with DJ Big Mike's, doing weddings with him. Just kind of getting a glimpse into a different life of business because of this co-op. What are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, kudos to Ryan, for asking us all to come together at the first initial part of that, because it was you. I met Ryan at Taste of outside of Fuji that one time, and when you were running for mayor. And this is what's joyful to me. It is because it's not political. It's not because you are this person or you are that person and you get to be a part of this. No, there's hardworking individuals that are entrepreneurs that want to see a difference in our community, that don't have to be placed somewhere just to say, oh, you're that so-and-so person. And even though a lot of people don't know what co-op, that's the nice thing about it, because majority of us have been just doing stuff behind the scenes for such a long time that nobody knows anyways.
Right.
And we're not trying to just put our name out there like that. Obviously things need to be expanded, things need to be known, but I think that's the joyous thing. Like all of us, that you can feel so much love when we're together. And it's genuine. It's not fake. No one's doing anything just to be a part of something. You don't have to, network just because you're trying to get something. It's because we genuinely love. And so you put all of us in one group together, things are going to be accomplished.
And the ideas bounce from left to right. Like I said, it's just super, super cool to be one of many that just say, hey, we want to do good stuff. We don't want to wait
Right.
for anybody or
Right.
wait for somebody to sign off on
Just
this.
do it.
Let's just rock and roll.
Yeah.
And I always put in our group chat, I get it if everybody can't make it.
Right.
That's totally okay.
Right.
I know, I mean, that people we have in this group, we all have lives, but I mean,
Yep.
they're busy. I mean, they might
Yes.
be over here in this state at this time, but the coreness of it, the
Yeah.
group, the name on the front of the jersey, we'll call it, is the co-op, and it
Yes.
shows up when it's asked to. And I'm excited to see us where we head in the fall,
Yes,
and just the activities
absolutely.
that could be brought to it, and seeing co-op members, BTT hanging out at the wrestling event, bringing
Yeah.
all the kids. How cool is that,
Yeah,
man?
it is.
That's their group, their identity, but it's still that brotherhood, that fraternity,
Yes.
sorority of I see you.
Yep.
That's awesome. And not even I see you, I see the community.
Yep. And that's
you.
it.
I see the community through you. And that's
Right.
really, really cool.
And I think it's important for people in the community to see that we're just part of the community also. And you can do this too if you wanted.
That's it.
Yep.
And they can start. Let's talk a little bit about other people that have been influential in your life that have made you the person that you are today.
Well, one main lady is Marcy Cornell. She used to be Marcy Gerard. She's the one that hired me at Monroe County Opportunity Program when I went. Prior to that, I actually went to see her to get hooked up on my insurance and stuff wherever she was interning. And she's the one that asked me to speak at the city council. And that I always go back to. She was my encourager. She cross-trained us. I probably worked in every department almost at Monroe County Opportunity Program, and because it's a community action agency, so there's a lot of pieces that a lot of people don't know.
And they don't.
No,
just
right.
From working with, but that's with a lot of organizations, but that's one of them that
right.
people really don't know.
Yeah,
what really goes on,
and they're all over the United States. So she was big. Obviously, my mom, this month my mom will be gone 11 years, and she raised me single, as a single mom. And so I probably should have shouted out to her first, but to see where my walk is in my career and the confidence that I have that I can do this, it's my heart's desire. And,
right.
And I love helping people. I really just am a huge encourager. I was encouraged. So I think that's just what's instilled in me to encourage others. And so, there's a lot of people, Pastor Boone, going over to Oaks and, working over there. I just see how the Lord always places people around me, and it might be for a season.
Correct.
And that's okay. But never forgotten. Any individual that's ever impacted me. Habitat for Humanity of our county.
Correct.
That's how I have my house.
Correct.
And pridefully, I didn't want to apply. I was working in the community. I'm like, no, I tried years ago, when my kids were little, when I didn't have much money of anything. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people, I think, have misinformation about Habitat, like someone's given a free home. No, I had to work for it. I had to qualify.
And we've spoken that. I really do. That's another organization. I really don't think people truly understand of. Yes, you're not just getting a house here. By the gracious volunteers and the programs, you are going to be qualified to pay off a home mortgage that one day will be, because of Habitat, your home.
Yeah, I have 9 years left on my house at a 0% interest. It is the biggest blessing in my life. And with that, though, this is what I have to say about community, Devin. Community really invested in me. How do I not invest back into our community?
That's good.
Because I've had where I'm at today has to do with a lot of our community that instilled in me, that gave me that little extra step to be able to do stuff that I didn't know. So how dare me not share the information that I have with others, like, oh, you want to be a homeowner? Okay. And I said this to someone one time when I was facilitating class. I said, who wants to be a homeowner one day? And one of the guys in the class was like, huh? I said, what? Well, yeah, but my credit's shot. Well, who cares if it's 5 years or 10 years from now? Is that a dream that you have? Because people sometimes bury their stuff inside of them. They don't know. So for the community to give that to me, I have to give it back.
Right. It would almost be you'd be doing.
Can't hold on to anything.
All right, now we're going deep. Okay, I mean, yeah, that's exactly it. We
Yep.
have to give it while it's here
Yep.
because in a
Absolutely.
blink of an eye, that next young lady that's in college or not getting ready to have a baby, she has to be able to see that it's been done and
Yes.
not by somebody on the internet, but somebody in your own hometown that
Yep.
cares. I tell business owners all the time, you could be anywhere with your business, and we choose to do it here.
Yeah.
For the community. We wouldn't be here.
Absolutely.
We wouldn't be able to stay here if it wasn't for the people supporting. So that's why I always try to give back as much as I can, and I know you do too. Before we wrap up, first I want to know this drink looks amazing. What are you drinking right there? What is
It's
that?
got well, I worked this morning, so I got
Okay.
to make my own tea. So, sorry, Jeff, if I made something that wasn't on the list.
I'm just gonna say because that looks like the nicest pink lemonade raspberry mashup.
So my favorite mega flavor is pink starburst.
Okay.
So I have some pink starburst and a little pina colada in there.
So nice little tropical twist.
It's so good.
I want to talk about, what do you listen to in the morning that gets you going? Is there a song? Is there a Bible verse? Is there a meditation? What gets you going? Because I believe it sets the tone for your day.
Yeah.
Those first 15 minutes, I think you get that bad phone call or you see the wrong text message. What gets you started for your day?
It's crazy. It's probably I'm not listening to anything until I actually get in my car because I get up and I'm so focused on what I got to do. But I think I'm just blessed that God just wakes me up. I don't wake up in a bad mood unless one of my kids want to bump me the wrong way. That's stirring me.
So that's a part of that 15 minutes before you
Yeah,
really wake
absolutely. But I definitely, like yesterday morning, I'll say this. I walked in the shop and Jeff's like, "You look like you're glowing." I said, "Yeah, that's because God's word was just in me all morning long." I got up, I got ready, I went and ran, and I just listened to not so much the word, but in worship music. But the word is in worship music. So it just like, no matter what yesterday brought you, today's a new day. And I tend to say that on Sunday mornings when I open up for church, and I'm like, it's a new day, because it's a new day and it's a new opportunity for anyone to just start over.
Some people didn't make it through the night.
Yeah.
That's we have to call it just as it is.
Absolutely.
So within closing, you have one last thing to say to the world before you go. What would it be?
You can do anything that you set your mind to, and pay attention to what goes in your ear, because that's what's going to come out of your mind, and that's what out of your mouth, and that's what your mind's going to think about. So put good things in.
Ladies and gentlemen, Pillar Talk, episode 125, the fabulous Kim Ruiz. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
We will see you guys next time on Pillar Talk.